Today today is a Thursday. It's January 9th. It's January 9th. It's 3:08 a.m. I finished day 4 of my funding traders challenge. Um, it was it was essentially um, it wasn't really boring today because it did turn into a drawdown, but I was able to minimize the drawdown loss. Um, And so it turned out to be an interesting day. It turned into be a green day, so which is good. I thought to myself, okay, so I'm steadily making these incremental gains, and it's gonna take some time. So far I traded. Uh, I'm counting it as day 4, but I traded now almost like 10 days on this challenge, more than 10 days, so 2 weeks, and so I'm like halfway there. Before today, initially when I started out, I wasn't in the same mindset as I am in now. Initially, in the back, when I started this challenge, um, I hadn't achieved a uh, consciousness of what I need to do. And so what happened was I was able to gain up to a point about with a 10K account, the goal is $1,000. What happened was I achieved a 421, and then soon as I achieved it, I wanted to go a little bit stronger, and I dropped it back down to like $300 that day, $299. Fortunately for me, I stopped, and that was it. And it turned out to be great because I was able to recover it. But the method in which that I lost that much meant that I wasn't mentally prepared at that moment. So within a single challenge, I'm essentially I've essentially become far more aware of what I need to do as a day trader. So so last week I started this road to 1K, and then today marks the what is that? Today marks the what is that? The fourth day, I think. Fourth day of trading. Today marks the fourth day of trading for this week. Okay, and so far, except for one or two instances where I need to be far more careful uh, of my risk, uh, because I could get into a dangerous territory of significant drawdown. Okay, but I was able to manage a smaller size, which saved me. Okay, and that'll work. That's working. So I realized that this path is essentially a blueprint for. I've suggested this. I've made this comment in the past, but I haven't actually walked the talk. Now I'm actually walking the talk. The reason why I am able to walk the talk now is because I was able to essentially get rid of this addiction that I had. I have to admit I was addicted to trading, to the market, and it kept me hostage from growing. And that's why it's been 4 years. It could have been far faster. People who are not prone to this addictive personality, some people do it in like 9 months or 8 months, so they can do that. So then I realized that okay, so I'm making incremental progress. I'm not achieving that. I'm not achieving that 10% in one day. I'm not. I'm not achieving it. I know it. It's a little slow, but I'm accepting it. I'm accepting the fact that if I'm if I really go for it, I better know what that setup is going to do and where I'm going to get out and what the consequences of making that trade. So when I make a trade on that, uh, I'm putting a if I want a big gain, I have to put a big risk on, and that when that moves against me, and I have to wait 15 seconds to bypass the high frequency trading rule, to observe the high frequency trading rule, anything can happen within that 15 seconds. So I have to, the risk is very, very high. And so it is possible to achieve 10% in one day, but it is, but I needed to go on this journey for a longer term perspective, um, and a longer term perspective, and then incrementally make progress towards the finish line. The small gains that I'm gaining means that the losses are smaller, and so the survivability is higher. Now, as of today, I've crossed the halfway point, which means that I'm expecting at the minimum of achieving 0.5%, which means that within the next 2 weeks, okay, from today, I should be able to pass this challenge within the next 2 weeks. Um, okay, so that uh, within like 3 to 4 weeks, I can achieve a 10% gain. So that means that if I calculate this out, and these platforms allow like $500,000 to $1 million of account, okay, which means that if I have a $1 million account and I get a 0.5% of that, okay, so that's 100 times the 10K. So 0.5% is $50 times 100. That's $50,000 in three. Okay, is that how that works? Is that how that works? Let's figure this out. Is that how that works? I think it might be like 5,000. Is that 5,000? I think it might be $5,000. Yeah, I think that's $5,000, right? Add a couple zeros. Oh yeah, it's $5,000. So if I have $1 million, that means that I can make about $5,000 a day, one day. I can make $5,000 in one day. Okay, so multiply that by 5. That's 25,000 times 4. That's about $100,000 a month, just trading the way that I'm trading just now. Okay, and some of these platforms have like up to like $2 million of being able to trade at $2 million. So even with 200, I'm just thinking it out now. So even with $200,000, that's like 20x, right? So $50 times 20 is like, that's 500. That's $1,000. What is that? $1,000 a day? Yeah. Even with a 0.5%, that's $1,000 a day. So that's 5,000 times 4. That's $20,000 a month. So a year, that's almost $250,000, right? That's it's working things out. That's a especially the way I'm living now, being very poor right now, and I am able to survive on washing dishes right now. The money that I'm making from washing dishes is able to support my financial needs. Barely. I don't have excesses. I cannot replace the headlight on my car because it's all hazy because I don't have the funds. Okay. All right. But I'm at a point where when that happens, it's going to be extra income, extra extra things that that don't require infusion into my daily upkeep to survive. It is extra that I can do to dislodge myself from this situation, and so I'm looking so forward to it. So I'm taking it very carefully in this situation and looking to make progress. I'm analyzing the trades that I'm making and then making connections between the setups that I have and then how I can take more advantage of that particular setup. I'm just so this is actually a very very good thing. Okay, so this is essentially a journey. It's a journey. It's a it's like my ex-wife told me that she was on a marathon, and she told me how hard it was, and how the body behaves in a certain way, and this essentially is very very similar to the toll that she had to go through. I think. All right, my knee and my ankles are hurting, so I can't go on a marathon, but I still have my faculties to allow me to go on this journey. So that's where I am.